P400. Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 20.
Hey, don't hear that very often, do we?
Husky Toyota. Second pole in 15 races at Kansas, first of the year, 9th in his career, and first of 2013 in a new qualifying record to boot. Matt, just had Ricky and Carl in here, and great last few cars going out, lots of excitement, and here you go.
Yeah, that was a really exciting pole, my most exciting pole by far, actually. So, of course, there's only been 9 of them, as you said, but yeah, the car was really good. Obviously, I kind of struggled. Well, first this morning I struggled knowing where the wall was, and I hit that and got the guys behind a little bit, so we never really got to work on race trim. Made some qualifying runs, we're off a couple tenths, and I was having kind of a hard time telling Jason exactly what I wanted and where we were the weakest. I tried to explain that, and that's probably where we're almost the strongest qualifying. So I don't even know what he changed, but they made some great changes, and the car had a lot of grip, motor ran great, and man, it was a heck of a lap. Felt good.
Questions for Matt? We'll bring you the mic. Start with Randy.
Matt, Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. Last time we saw you, you were at the start-finish line at the end of the race. Did you feel like you picked up where you left off when you got on the track?
I don't know. I mean, the last lap's way more important than where you start. Obviously, so I'm already I'm pretty darn happy about winning this pole. But as soon as I get over this tonight and get ready to race tomorrow and start digging through the stuff, work real hard tomorrow to try to find a race setup, that we can have a good compromise between beginning of the run speed, end of the run speed, and hopefully we'll have something we can race them with on Sunday.
The comfort level getting on that track where you just won the last time?
Yeah, I mean, I've been comfortable. I really like the track. It's one of those tracks when you first get on it, you come here the first couple runs, it's you have a hard time feeling where the edge is. Whenever you go to a new racetrack, you got to bring a relatively hard, durable, tire just because the track has so much grip. So like here in Michigan, it gets a little better every lap you run, and the longer you're here, but they're difficult tracks to get the balance right.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's go to
hey, Ricky.
David Newton, good. And then we'll hit Stan and come back to Nate.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Why is it like the biggest poll or most exciting poll that you've gotten?
Well, I mean, just for a lot of reasons, but mainly I didn't think we had a chance of sitting on it really, and it's probably the fastest track we go to all year, and I just wasn't really expecting it, and we thought about it a lot. We talked about it a lot. Them guys made some great changes and picked up 10th and a half. Where a lot of people weren't really picking up, and Carl and Ricky were a lot faster than the rest of the group, by a pretty big margin for today's standards. Everybody's usually within a half a tenth or so. I think they had a tenth on second or something like that, so, or at least on third, so, or on fourth, whatever. But so anyway, to run that kind of lap just felt good. Go out late, your second last car to go out, and you go out and jump over the top of them guys was pretty fun.
Good, Dave.
David Newton, ESPN.com. Does NASCAR need to stop looking at what Penske's doing and try to figure out why you're all of a sudden a good qualifier? I mean, it looks like, your career average is around 19, and this year, just over 10. So that's
a little better than that. It's like at least 15, isn't it? Oh. I don't know. Even last year we were a little better qualifying, I thought. But man, our cars just have a lot of speed. I mean, they're really fun to drive. I've said it a million times, but man, it's just a great group. I'm a really fortunate guy to be driving that equipment. That stuff's pretty awesome.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Matt, in all the years I've watched you, which was ever since the beginning, qualifying has never really meant anything towards you. What was it that just never made qualifying important? And how do you really feel tonight knowing this is a record? And you were close during practice. You were close to people, but not close to the speed.
Yeah, I mean, I think qualifying's always been, it's not like I didn't used to try to qualify fast. I mean, you'd always try. Now, there was days where it was much easier to pass, and if you you started 20th, it really wasn't a big deal. By the second pit stop, hopefully you're going to be up there, and our stuff ran pretty good in the race and all that stuff. And certainly through the years, qualifying has become, much more important, probably a little bit more of a focal point. Things have changed where everybody's, much more equal. Back in the day, everybody had qualified motors and just all kinds of different stuff where now you race much closer to, or you qualify much closer than what you race. So, I mean, I've always tried really hard at it. It's just, I think my cars have just been faster.
Nate?
And what is the speed today? I mean, the fact that you were this quick.
Well, it's fun to go that fast when you're in control, and when you get to go a little faster than everybody else. So you got to have a car that's comfortable enough to do that. And we had qualifying. It wasn't too bad. We got it much more comfortable throughout practice. Every time we tried to make mock runs in practice, it just really wasn't that comfortable. It was real edgy, and we just were trying to look for the right balance, and they were able to get me some grip there for qualifying, and just was able to get it all out of it.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. You've kind of already answered this, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. You had 4 poles in your first 11 seasons, and now you've had 5 in the last 2 seasons and counting. I've heard you say before you're a better driver now than you were in 2000. Is it just simply you're maybe just still learning things? You're a better qualifier now over the last 3 years than you were the first 10?
Nate, did you just call me a slow learner?
No.
I think you did. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of answered part of it. I think through the years, it's become probably more important. I think that the cars are more equal. I think if you want to go way back in time, I mean, there's times where we never had qualifying engines. We just didn't do a lot of that stuff that a lot of people really put a lot of time, money, and effort into. In the days when I started there, they just didn't do that stuff over there. So, and then I think certainly when they went to impound races was a big bump in our qualifying that season, because everybody raced, or qualified basically what they raced, and our race package was usually pretty good. I think that was a big bump in our starting position. And then the COT stuff, when we would, and even this car, when we would race decent, we'd usually qualify, pretty decent. But if we were off all weekend, we wouldn't qualify that well. So I think it's just everybody's a little more equal, and I think we've just had better cars and better qualifying setups.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Is it, I don't know, symbolic at all, the fact that this is a place where you won the last race that you won for Jack was here, then you come back here the next time, and next day, really, that you're actually on the track and you beat 2 Roush cars for the pole?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I mean, that was pretty neat for me, because not just because they were from there. I mean, I wish all them guys great success, as long as it's not quite as good as we do. You want, if you can't win, you want them to do good. I'm good with all that, but certainly having them guys be as dominant as they were all day and to be 1-2, you knew that you're going to have to beat them guys to be on a pole. I mean, obviously, because they were the front row when we went. But even before qualifying session started, you knew if you're going to have a shot, you're going to have to beat, one of them guys or the 16. They were the fastest cars by far all day if you watch practice. So, and they both got good laps, and they were the fastest cars in practice. So it was pretty cool to be able to go out and beat them guys, knowing as strong as they were all day.
Good, Bob.
Were you aware, I assume, that they used one of their organizational tests here, and do you think that makes a big difference? Today it looks like it would have helped. I mean, obviously, I knew they were here. Obviously, I don't talk about anything they do or anything like that anymore. So, but I knew they were here, and when they got running today, and you looked at practice speeds, you could see that they were all much faster. So I think I would assume that the test would have helped them.
Let's go to Nate and back to Scott, please.
The big speedways this year, like California, Texas, tire wear seems to played a major factor in kind of producing better racing, the side-by-side stuff, the passing. Obviously, you wouldn't expect tire wear to be as much of a factor here because of the new Silver Sunday. Are you expecting it to be, again, kind of back to the old, it's going to be tough to pass type race on Sunday, or will a second groove maybe develop?
I thought the race last fall was really entertaining. I think this race will be at least one step better from a passing perspective. I really honestly think that the second groove will be the fastest groove the second half of the race. I really do. So I think it's going to be more similar probably to Vegas. I don't see a tire wear issue. I think that like last fall, track position is going to be really important. I think you're going to be able to pass, but I think it's going to be more important, to be in the front than to put new tires on. This tire is very durable to put up with the surfaces, being new like here in Michigan. So I don't think tire wear will be an issue. There was a lot of people blowing right fronts trying to get extra grip in them last year, and I think that was a lot of the caution. So that's something you got to keep your eye on. But I don't think there'll be any wear issues.
Matt, Scott Traylor, Sports Radio 810 WHB Racing Boys. Going back before you were hired at Gibbs, what was your most important question? What was the most important thing that you wanted to ask JD and Joe about the possibility of driving for them? What to you was the most important thing making the switch?
Well, the most important thing in my whole career has been having fast race cars. You got to have, first of all, it's about people, and you have to have the equipment. So I think, having fast race cars, I just, even though I didn't really know him, I had a really great feeling about Jason Ratcliffe, and it was really important for me to be teamed up with him. You can see everything that TRD has done and how good their stuff runs and all that they put into the engineering the side of it and engine side of it. So, Kyle and Denny are really, really fast all the time. So I think having teammates that are as good as them guys, and by the way, I've always had really good teammates, and it always really helps you. But having guys like that, as you can see, Kyle won the last couple weeks. That just elevates your game more, makes you better, makes you a better driver, it challenges you more. So there wasn't really anything. When I went and talked to Joe and JD, there wasn't really any reservations at all about anything, really. There wasn't anything that I didn't like. I liked everything I saw, and I just had a strong feeling about it then, and obviously I still do now, that it was the right place for me at the right time.
Your teammates lean on you, come over and ask for your advice with all the success you have. You feel that they lean on you maybe more than the drivers before?
Well, I think that's really hard to compare, and I just, really just looking forward. But certainly, I think we, it's a little different right now with Denny being out, and Denny unfortunately being hurt. But certainly the three of us have spent a lot of time talking. We spent a lot of time talking throughout practice, during the week after practice, all that kind of stuff. So I think we work as close together as any teammates can work together.
David, go ahead and take us home.
Yeah, and I'm not sure you're the right person to ask, but just because you're never
then I'm probably not.
Never been real outspoken, but Jeff and Jimmy were talking today about, and then referring to how outspoken Keselowski was last week after the race and has been in the past. When you're a champion, sometimes you kind of feel like you can say more and be more outspoken with that. Did you ever go through any situation like that where you felt like you're empowered to say more and you could sort of put yourself out there? And what do you think about that?
You're right. I wasn't the right guy to ask. Man, I don't know. I mean, the sport's made up of a lot of different personalities, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, you've gone through years where everybody complained, everybody's boring, everybody's vanilla, everybody's this, everybody's that. They all toe the company line. So, I mean, I think that, from a fan's perspective, and which, I'm a fan of the sport too, so for me to go watch that stuff and whatever, I mean, I think you probably find good and bad in anything, or positive and negative in anything. So, I mean, it's, controversy is always fun to watch, I think, from the fan side of things. So as long as I'm not involved in it, for me to watch, it's always interesting as well.
Seeing that respect on your tongue.
Well, I think everybody's, not just in the racing part, but I think everybody's said stuff that they wish they could take back or shouldn't have said. I think everything's been that, so everybody's done that. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case with Brad. He's pretty, he says pretty much what's on his mind, and I think that's what makes him Brad. I think that's who he is.
All right, Matt. Congratulations. Thanks for the time. Good luck
Thank you very much.
Weekend.